Hello everyone on the earth and not. My name is Swag Bastion, and a little while ago I made this video titled I'm almost 100% sure Riot is making an MMO, and that was 7 months ago. And suddenly, a couple days ago, I got a flood of comments on this video saying that Riot had just announced an MMO, which I was pretty hyped about. I thought it was a troll at first, actually, but I was pretty hyped about it, and turns out my video is in the top 10 search results of when you search Riot MMO or Runeterra MMO, so thank you, YouTube algorithm. But this is the announcement right here. If I could just, right here, okay, this is the announcement. Ghostcrawler just like casually tweeted out that, oh, you know, I'm like making something big. And then someone asked, oh, is it an MMO? And it's like, yeah, it is. You know, no big deal. You know, like I'm sure his PR guys are probably going nuts on him right now, because I don't really think he was supposed to say that. But maybe he was, because he's kind of advertising for job opportunities right now. I'm pretty pumped about this, okay? Obviously, I was right. At that time, what was it? It was, I thought they were working on an MMO already, or they were going to work on one eventually, or they were just never going to do one, which was very unlikely. So, boom. They are starting to work on an MMO is what this tweet says, basically. Let's just get on with it, because I actually have some concepts for a Runeterra MMO that I wrote down, you know, like while I was making the MMO video that I made, you know. So let's just like run through those real quick. Okay, so this is just a concept sheet. So I have character attributes here. You can read through all those, but what I really want to talk about is this willpower attribute, which I'm going to go into detail. You know, we got normal things, character stats. So these are attributes that are like, it's like D&D stats, and then there are statistics, character statistics, so which is like health, mana, armor, you know, MR, armor, whatever. I already said armor, but okay, here you go. There's character statistics. This is just a concept sheet that I made up. So let's go further. Magical affinity, yes, is going to be, most people know, is hard mode. So you have no mana. You can basically just use stamina attacks and only like physical weapons, like non-magical weapons. So we have races. All of these are like self-explanatory. Basically, you can pause and read through, and I'll have the link to this in the description. I'll also have the link to my Riot MMO video in the description as well, and the link to the tweet. So you can go on this sheet and comment whatever the heck you want. I don't care. I'll probably delete it anyway. But just go crazy, okay? And there are a few locked races here that are just like late game, like unlockables here. So there are a bunch of locked races here that aren't hidden, because hidden is like, it's like a secret, right? So Acathian is locked and hidden, Spirit is locked and hidden, and other, which I'll get to later. So we have region. These are all the regions. Self-explanatory. I mean, you know the map. You probably know the map if you're watching this video. So these are just starting regions. We got the void, locked and hidden. You can start there. Oh yeah, there are also bonuses for all of these, for where you start. So, or it's like an affiliation. So you choose your race, and then you choose your affiliation, and then I think class. I'm thinking class is just going to be based off of weapons, which is just what I have here. Obviously, none of this is official. It's just a concept that I made up. Okay, so let's go on the Void, Locked, and Hidden, and then we have all these Void creatures. So we have Devour Cho'Gath, Devour, which is what Cho'Gath is. I just made up names for all these. Zon is right at the end here because I think I put it in alphabetical order. So now we go on to the glossary. So this is just defining terms that you have in the game if people don't know what they are. So, you know, there are basic attacks. I'm assuming there are going to be basic attacks in the game. There's movement speed, obviously. And here's a cool thing. Jump height and length is a thing that I think could be based on your attributes. I have agility up there, which gives attack speed. It needs to be balanced out, obviously, because multiple things give attack speed, and you could just go full attack speed if you wanted. But I'm thinking jump height and length could be based on agility, and it could help you like reach difficult to reach places, and that would be a cool gameplay mechanic there. So we have persuasion event, health, attack speed, stealth, blah, 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 amplifier, which is just like crit chance, I guess, but it's different. So carrying capacity, obviously. And then we have willpower. We have the willpower section. So I'm going to explain this because I think this is a really cool mechanic. Also, while I'm talking about this right now, I sent this to Ghostcrawler a while back, like a long time back. So I don't know if he saw it. He probably didn't because he's a very busy person. But I was super excited about this. I was super passionate about writing this and about the concept of a League MMO. So I just wrote up this whole thing. I'm like, screw it. Like, I'm excited. And I put it on Reddit and like it got 0 upvotes. So sick. Gotti. So willpower. Okay, there's willpower, and then there's will. So think of will as like stamina. Think of it as stamina for now. Okay, so I have when your will reaches 0, you go into a mental combat. So in a mental battlefield, and while that's happening, your physical body is invulnerable. Like you're just there. You're in stasis basically. Okay. And this is dependent on if you have a high enough willpower stat. So for people that don't have a high enough willpower attribute, they will just die immediately when their will hits 0. So during mental combat in a PvE scenario, you'll fight against one or more dark versions of yourself whose goal is to kill you. So basically, PvE, your health drops down to 1, but you have a high willpower stat. You go into mental combat, and then basically it's more PvE, but it's like it's more difficult in a sense. I guess, I haven't really ironed out all of these concepts because I kind of just threw them together. I'm like, this is really cool. I came up with this willpower game mechanic because in the League of Legends lore, willpower plays a very large role in the world. So like humans are the race with the most willpower out of any of the other races, right? Because they are not as magic dependent. That's one thing. And I mean they're not as strong as other races really. So everyone in the Freljord has like so much willpower. Like to survive in the Freljord, you have to push yourself to keep going to survive, right? And you can't do that without willpower. So that's where this comes in. It's also like Pantheon champions, like Pantheon champions, or I mean everyone from Targon. Oh, Taric. Anyone that has ascended the mountain has like a ton of willpower. And you notice how there are no Vestian aspects. Like, why is that? It's because humans have the most willpower. That's the theory here, and that's what I came up with for this. And now I'm going to continue. So, sorry, that was a little bit of a sidetrack. If you die in mental combat, you'll just die immediately, and then you have to respawn. And then if you succeed, you control your physical body again with either half health or your remaining health, whichever one is greater. So I say either half health or remaining health because your will stat can be reduced by doing difficult tasks that don't necessarily involve dying, right? Like if your health reaches 0, that's one way to go into mental combat, and other ways is like if you're climbing up Mount Targon and it's like super cold and then you like get scared, there could be like a paranoia effect from some enemy or like, you know, some illusion or something, right? Like it doesn't have to necessarily be death for you to go into mental combat. So if you're in Shurima, it's really hot, it's the desert, and while you're taking heat damage, your will also goes down. So that's the whole point. I'm thinking it could be really cool. Okay, I think it's really cool, but okay, let's move on again. So during duels or PvP, during any PvP, it's the players that last hit each other or the players that reduce each other's health to 0 or to 1 go into mental combat against each other, and they're stronger dependent upon their willpower attribute. Okay, so I know this is very confusing to some of you, but it's basically just you 1v1 that person, and whoever beats the other person comes out on top. Let's continue now. That's basically the whole explanation of that. We got the glossary for all the stats here and race descriptions. So human, the plain generic type of creature with lots of willpower. I just go through all these here. I may have some funny comments here. Nico is best decision. We got that's not a funny comment. Oh yeah, here Acathian, now they're the most, they're the coolest race basically. Spirits, Frosty, Iceborne, Frosty. Some of these are locked, obviously, because Iceborne is super strong. Ascend is locked, and we got Boom, Boom, Boom. Celestials are definitely locked, and all the void creatures are also locked. So Devourer is Cho'Gath, Hunter is Kha'Zix, Spitter is Kog'Maw, Burrower is Rek'Sai, and Researcher is Vel'Koz. So you can choose to play as any of those, I'm thinking. And then I have region descriptions, which, you can go check these out yourself. But, I had a really fun time making this. And that's the concept sheet that I came up with. So is that all for this video? So it turns out I'm not done talking. I just had to think for a little while. So in the description of my original MMO video, there is a link to a subreddit that is dedicated to building Runeterra in Hytale when it comes out. And I will put that link in this description as well. So my intention was to make that because I wanted there to be a Riot Games MMO. I wanted there to be a Runeterra MMO very badly. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a plan to build Runeterra in Hytale. And now that they've announced that they have started working on an MMO, there's like kind of no reason for me to do that. But actually I want to keep planning to build Runeterra in Hytale because I have my own vision for the game that I think would be really cool. And if I can actually pull it off, then that'd be awesome. So if any of you guys are new here, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for staying till the end. Also, one more thing, if you've stayed till the end, you see these bars here up at the top and the bottom. So just tell me if you actually like the way that looked or not. So, just tell me in the comments. And, you know, just write whatever you want in the comments and like the video if you like the video. And if you like my videos, then subscribe. There's no reason not to, basically, unless you don't want to, you know, stuff your subscription feed with stuff you don't watch often. Okay, whatever. Basically, just subscribe. Consider subscribing. I actually think that is it for this video now. I've kind of just rambled for, I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever. 18 minutes. Okay. And have a Dalen. Okay, actually, one more thing. There's a witty joke I wanted to make. So here it is. Basically, now I can actually go watch Necrit and TB Skyen's video on the Riot MMO because because if I had watched it first, then I would feel like there's no reason to make this video. So I'm off to doing that. That probably was not funny to most of you, but if you stayed to this little end bit, I'm probably not even going to put it in. But if you stayed to this little end bit, you're the true MVP. You're the real champ. Okay, yeah, I guess I could just keep saying random crap. But yeah, goodbye. Have a Dalen.